Welcome back to Crypto Spaces, back with another Monad update for you guys. Monad sitting at 0.02385 cent, and it has been climbing, guys. Now, like I said, I would have expected some resistance at the ICO price. People who bought at ICO, they're breaking even. They don't believe in the long-term vision. You would think most of them would hold now and think, well, maybe it starts its uptrend here, and the first, pullback was just a shakeout, right? But you know how it goes. When it comes to this space, it's all psychological. And, in my opinion, I don't know what happened, man, but after the Trump meme coin launch, man, and the tariffs, this market has been impossible, almost impossible to be successful in, because there were just a few coins that went, that actually went up this year. Like, for example, Zora from its lows, and KTA on base chain. And obviously there's always gamblers in the Solana casino, right? There's always coins like that, but trading in the Solana casino is extremely difficult for the regular person, right? So you would think that when a good altcoin comes around, that Coinbase supports its first ICO launch, you'd think that people would be like, well, when it launched from the ICO, it made a move up to like 4 or 5 cent or 5 cent. Then it pulled back down. You would think people would DCA and be like, okay, let me DCA in. And, because I believe in it, Coinbase supports it. Solana made it a statement to launch Monad on the Solana chain, right? So you could buy, if you just have Solana, you want to buy Monad, you could do that, right? So you'd think that'd be the case, but it's all psychological, man. This is why I say, when nobody's paying attention, this is when you make your move, man. Like Warren Buffett says, be greedy when others are fearful, right? And honestly, no one on my timeline is talking about Monad still, right? Not seeing any attention for it. When I hop in other YouTubers' live streams, because I have an alt account that I just hop in live streams for crypto, see what the sentiment is. And when I bring up Monad, everyone's like, oh, it's terrible, it's trash, it's going to zero, right? It's a farm coin, right? So in my opinion, I'm just doing the opposite of what everyone thinks, man. I saw on the crypto Twitter timeline, everyone saying, oh, Monad is going to trash, it's terrible, etc. And I was like, whoa, everybody hates it, I think I'll buy it. that's basically my thought process. Everyone else hates it, I'll buy some, right? And obviously, like I said, guys, 100,000 Monad, more than enough, man. More than enough. 100,000 Monad is $2,353 right now. If you could, if you want to afford more, that's up to you. But I always say, never invest more than you're willing to lose, right? It's whatever your budget is, whatever your risk management is. And obviously, if you're, just starting a portfolio, or you've been, you're starting over, you got wrecked, or, this is your, you're trying to enter like a time in your life where like you start to build your portfolio again, right? 50,000 to 100,000 Monad, in my opinion, is a great bet to have, right? And my price prediction still stands for $1, if not more, $2 to $3 for Monad in the future, right? Let's take a look at some tweets, right? So as you can see from Sigil, Mon is not looking bad here. It reclaimed the key support level and finding acceptance back above it, right? So resistance is going to be, where Monad's previous all-time high was, which is around 4-6 cent, right? So we're going to watch out for that, but I'm very, very confident that Monad will break through that resistance, right? And right here we have from All Crypto Talk again. After the break above the neckline, inverse head and shoulder pattern down here for Monad. Now it's holding above the neckline, and the next move is where the liquidity is at, which is at the 4 or 5 cent level, right? And a lot of people have been shorting Monad here, so I wouldn't be surprised we get a squeeze and start moving even faster, accelerating to the upside from here. I also have a tweet right here from Northside saying Mon is going to the promised land, which gives a short-term target of a 280% move to 0.088 cents, right? So that's nice profits right there, but in my opinion, it would be too early to sell there. Obviously, you could de-risk, take your initials, take some profits, but in my opinion, I think Monad goes way higher, way higher, right? How she looks at you when she finds out you bought Monad at 1.7 cent. Now that's funny. Price of Mon has returned to ICO price. The lows was 0.165 cent to 0.025 cent. And, you know, like I said, we're having some resistance here below, just a bit below the ICO price. Once we break above it, that's going to be the first hurdle. And then the previous all-time high will be the next hurdle, right? We have Mon trending on CoinGecko as well. Someone showing the comparisons between the Monad chart and the Chalk chart. Like I said before, it's good to get exposure to the ecosystem. For example, if you were able to buy Bonk, say you bought, you know, $5,000 of Solana at $10, and you still had like, you're like, yo, some of these projects on memes on here look pretty cheap, right? And then you take $500 out, you buy 4,500 of Sol and 500 in Bonk. If you had the chance to do that, you would do that, right? In my opinion, I'm sure most people would have been like, you know what? If I had a chance to buy Bonk at 10 to 20 mil, of course I would have, right? So you have a chance right here to buy Chog. It's mirroring the price of Monad, right? Pretty much the same chart, right? So when Monad breaks to the upside, expect Chog, not Mog, expect Chog to do the same, and it more than likely will outperform Monad because it's a smaller cap meme with, you know, it has more risk, so that's why it would have more reward, right? We are so back with Mon. Thank you, Monad again. So we got a bit above the ICO price for a bit, then we pull back down, but that's fine. That's fine, you know. Gover holders believe in Mon for sure. Believe in Mon for sure, for sure. The spirit of Christmas has possessed us. No one's looking at Mon right now. And like Joseph has stated here, couldn't hold back, bought another 100,000 Monad. There's something happening here. And I think $1 is a conservative price target for the next 14 months. Let's go have some fun on Mon, right? So 14-month time frame with 100,000 Mon or multiple hundreds of thousands, you know, $1 target. You could afford more than 100,000. You could afford a 500,000, a million Mon. In my opinion, all great investments. All great investments. My target is $1. See, Joseph has a realistic time frame, 14 months, right? Which is why I said as well, I wouldn't be surprised in the next 12 months, Monad will be an outlier for 2026, right? And the next unlock, the big unlock, right, is November 2026, right? So I wouldn't be surprised Monad outperforms all year going into the unlock, and then has a massive run on the unlock, because, you know, typically when an unlock is coming, you know, the price pumps, right, in anticipation for the unlock. That happens a lot in the space, right? So Monad looking great right here. Just another update for you guys. We mentioned that it was I showed you guys before, it was mentioned on CNBC featured, and, you know, it was on Squawk Box with like institutional TradFi investors, news anchors, which was extremely bullish to see. They've been, you know, Monad getting to Wall Street so quickly in its cycle is very bullish, right? You haven't seen, you know, projects like give me a project. You haven't seen projects like Casper. You haven't seen projects like Polkadot, Cosmos. You haven't seen projects like that on, you know, get into TradFi institutional. In the eyes of institutions and TradFi so quickly, right? But Monad is one of them to do so. So, as always, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. None of this is financial advice. Like and subscribe.